Here. Good afternoon, it is afternoon. Good evening. Hi, everybody, we're on the meeting to order at 6:06 at this time. I'm gonna pass to the directors to make an announcement.
And okay, so we have the interpretation logistics up, and we'd like to welcome our new interpreters.
Hello, I'm Amelina Mendoza and my colleague back there, Jimmy. We are interpreters from Language World, and we are providing interpreting service tonight. If anyone needed assistance, please go to the back table so we can help you. Yo soy Amelina Mendoza, mi compañera allá atrás es Jenny. Somos de la compañía de Language World, intérprete de Language World. Estamos aquí disponibles con interpretaciones. Si alguien necesita asistencia, por favor, pase a la mesa de atrás para ayudar. Gracias.
Thank you so much for those interpretation logistics. We also have a virtual interpreter, so if you are joining us today via Zoom, that is available to you as well. There are some instructions on the screen for our virtual folks, and there's also instructions for mobile interpretation. So please feel free to review those and use that service if you need it. And I didn't introduce myself. Hello, everyone. My name is Britta Romans. I'm your facilitator tonight, and I'm joined by my colleague Elizabeth Herrera, who will be facilitating the topic and speaking notes. And we can go over some of the logistics before we do our roll call. So this is a hybrid meeting per usual. For the first half of the meeting, it is hybrid. And so thank you to everyone who's here in person. We're excited to work together in our breakout sessions. And for those of us who are joining us online, you will not be able to participate in the breakout sessions, and we encourage you to come in person if you are able to for the second half of the meeting. Since this is a hybrid meeting, we will be trying to keep account of any raised hands online, any questions or comments in the chat, and encourage you to use those reaction buttons. For our folks in person, for our steering committee members, please try and use your name placard when you have a question. Reminder to put it upwards, and then we will call on you. And for the folks who have joined us here from the public, welcome. Just so you know our order of operations, we will prioritize steering committee discussion first. Every agenda item has an opportunity for public comment, and we will let you know when it is that time. That way you can make that public comment or question. Great, so just reviewing the Charter Code of Conduct briefly. This is the same for every meeting, and we really just like to remind you all to review it. When you enter this meeting, you agree to abide by the Code of Conduct. And so, given the fact that this is a very tight agenda, as we usually do, we may need to reference the Code of Conduct just so we can make sure that everyone has opportunity to engage. We would like to reach consensus, and we will listen courteously and attentively and hold each other accountable. So thank you for agreeing to the Code of Conduct by being here. Okay, so our agenda is on the screen, and as I mentioned, we have a very packed agenda, so I will be providing polite reminders as we move through when we are at the end of our allotted time. We hope to not have to extend the meeting time so that we can hit all of our agenda points. So please, as we're going through, please remember that you have other resources for these discussions. There's the subcommittee meetings, there's the office hours, and we want to encourage as much conversation and discussion here as possible, while knowing that we have a very tight agenda and we do not have time to dive deep into the weeds. So, yes, thank you for understanding that. And we can go ahead and move in. So I will pass it to Roberto to conduct roll call for the steering committee.
Thank you, Rita. Welcome again, everyone. I also didn't introduce myself. I'm sorry, I was such a rush to get this, and I know I'm not important. Yeah, my name is Roberto Ruiz. I'm the colleague. I'm going to go ahead and start with the roll call today. So it started to Bishop Chris Baker here, Stephanie Williams here, Tito,
Online.
See you on the screen too, okay? Your mama Green. Serena Rodriguez. And she's not gonna be able to go in. Richard Falcone. Here. Rachel Lincoln. Here. Barry Boyd. Morgan Brown.
Here,
Barry, we hear you. Roberto Rizzo, here. James Allison. Here. Arturo Arroyo. Here. Vincent Valdez.
Vincent Valdez.
Here. Okay, thank you, Vincent. Thank you, Richard. We also want to thank, that's all of us, right?
Yes, let me count really quick.
Lori?
Lori, I didn't get your name, Lori Walker.
Here.
We're making eye contact with you too, right?
Tito's here too, guys.
We have, 9 voting members present. So, quorum is, 9. We have, what do you say?
So we have 9 voting members, and we need 5 to pass. Okay, any voting? Excellent, so now we want to thank the city of Oak Grove, the city of Sacramento, and Sacramento County for being here. Any other local governments present? No, okay. We also have Park Line Ed here, so thank you for being here today. And to the public, thank you for joining us. We have a full house. Please help yourself to pizza. And let's go to the next item.
Yes, so we'd like to provide a moment to see if anyone has any community events to share. And if you do, can you please raise your hand? Any community events? Normally Morgan covers this and she's not here, so it's okay if we don't have any community events, we can go ahead and move on. So we will then move into our updates section, so I will pass it back to Roberto.
Barry, that is in.
Oh, Barry has his hand up. Thank you, Lord. Barry, do you have a community event to share?
Yes, I do. This Saturday, the 7th of June at the Sacramento, that's the wrong name, sorry. The Samuel and Bonnie Pinnell Community Center, 24th and Meadowview on Meadowview Road at 24th Street is celebrating its 30th anniversary. And there are vendor options, which this just came across my plate, i.e. I just read the newsletter Saturday. I did sign up for a vendor spot for CSC for Saturday. The vendor opportunity is closed today, so I'll call the council member and see if we got a booth or not. And if so, it's going to depend upon 2 things. One, do we have our equipment to go vendor, i.e. the canopy, the tablecloth, yada, yada, yada. And if so, I'll do the tabling Saturday. Anybody else wants to join, that's great. If not, no big deal. 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. is the duration of the celebration.
Great. Thank you so much, Barry. We'll have the Air District follow up with you regarding your question about whether that equipment is ready. And then I see that we also have Adrian online. Adrian, please feel free to share your event.
Sure. Yeah. I'm hoping that July 12th might be an appropriate time for the steering committee members to come out and table at Celebrate Oak Park. It's the Oak Park Neighborhoods Association's big annual event at McClatchy Park. It's just inside the the revised 617 boundary. And it's going to be just a really great time. So 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And can share more info with the group.
Great. Thank you so much, Adrian. Last call, any community events to share? Yes, I see your hand. Let me come bring you a microphone. Please folks online can hear you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Sarah Kowalik. I'm with the city of Sacramento, and I just want to highlight that on June 24th, the Tuesday evening, at City Council, we'll have the Climate Action and Adaptation Plan Annual Progress Report going to council, as well as an adoption hearing for the city's urban forest. So both of those items might be of interest for steering committee members as well as general public, if you want to attend and provide for that.
Thank you so much. Okay, lots of great community events happening. For the folks who shared those online, we'll have those recorded in the meeting summary for folks who are interested in attending. And I will now pass it to Roberto for updates. Co-lead announcement.
Thank you, Brita. You're gonna hear a little of me today. I meet Morgan already. It's a lot of what we say. So as far as the COVID announcements and the subcommittee announcements, both of the subcommittees will be working on strategies for SERP. I think that's what we've been spending most of our time doing. Let's think back. Yeah, I think that's we're working on the strategies for the SERP. We welcome you to, what is it? Richard.
I'm looking at the percent for the attendance.
Hold on, let me remember.
Oh, right.
So let me finish.
You can go ahead, Richard. I actually want to slow us down a little bit. I think we're going a little bit too fast. It's making me anxious, so. Let's bring.
I was just pointing out the slide that's on there for the attendance in the subcommittee.
Thank you. Yeah, that's something that I requested from the district to put together. As you know, all of us know, we have very low attendance. We have very low attendance. Oh, thank you.
I think we need to meet one.
He just did. Oh,
No, I think it's like our. One of the candidates. We're getting. Wow. It has to be a computer.
Can we mute everyone on,
I think that worked. I don't know who was it. It's perfect.
yeah, it works.
We're good now.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, for the people at home that are watching, we just had a little bit of a situation. We figured it out, sorry if you heard a little echo while we're figuring it out. So, coming back to the subcommittees, we don't have, we have a lot of people not joining us. That's what we have. And it's making it very difficult for the people that do join to get things done. So we asked for these statistics to be put together, but as you know, we have half the members attending. Half usually would be a good number, but we're putting together our SERP. We need everybody's ideas. So if you could please join our meetings, even if it's the first hour, we're gonna try to move the SERP strategies to the first hour for both days. So you can join for 6 and 7, and then you have to jump. That's totally fine. If it's a stipend piece that we need to work on, we could potentially put something together and have you join a different hour. I don't know if that's doable, Janice, or if the 2 hours need to be happening like together.
Let's, internally, let's talk.
Okay, fantastic, because that could be one of them, right? So, yes, if you have questions, please reach out to us. We really need you at this meeting.
Okay, and next I'd like to invite Janice to provide updates on behalf of the district.
Great, thank you. For district updates, we have 3. The first one is that we would like to announce that CARB, has sent invitations to, Bishop Chris Baker to be a part of their consultation group, their AB 617 statewide consultation group. The Sacramento Air District ourselves also have received, an acceptance, actually it's an invitation, it's an acceptance of the application. And so, CARB is planning on bringing that item in July to their board, for approval. So thanks Bishop Baker for representing the steering committee. The next is the governor's May revised budget. And so, we did get some information that the governor did take out the AB 617 funding moving forward. And that's his proposed revised budget. And so we are asking for the steering committee to provide a letter of support, signed by Roberto and Morgan, to encourage the legislature, the budget subcommittee, to continue the funding for this program. There are lots of processes that I'm not as familiar with, through discussions with the legislature, with the governor, so there's still a lot of discussions to be going on. But it is important, I think, for ourselves as well as you all to share your support for the program if that's what, you know, you guys believe.
Are there any steering committee questions about that? We want to limit it to 2 minutes, but we want to provide the opportunity. Stephanie, I see you first.
Just wanted to know, is there a timeline set in which, the steering committee needs to be responsive, to get that information, to the governor and legislation? Yes, so, the steering committee members, earlier today, you have received in your email box a draft of the support letter from the CSC. Roberto, has also helped provided his edits for this. And, I think it's as soon as possible the next day or so.
Okay.
So if the steering committee can come to a consensus to provide Roberto and Morgan to sign the letter, that would be great.
Roberto, I'll let you respond to that, and then I will call on you, Richard, just noting we are 50 seconds into our 2-minute limit for this.
I think it might be helpful for the group to understand, because what I heard you say with the funding being basically earmarked to be removed. What is the direct impact to this group and any of the work we're doing?
So the direct impact to this particular group and to this particular program is that we have all are in the process of developing the community emission reduction program plan. And once we complete the plan, we still need funding to implement all of these wonderful strategies that you all are developing. And that might be at risk, and to be able to implement the strategies that you guys are developing.
Thank you. And what I wanted to say is that we reviewed the language, Morgan and I today. Okay, can you hear me better?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So we reviewed the language for this letter. The reasons are important, and I'm sure that the majority of you already understand this. So legislators need to know what's important for the people that they represent. So this letter is gonna be sent to, I'm assuming, the budget subcommittee that oversees this program, and also to our local elected officials. We're gonna CC the mayor's office and the folks that also represent us there, where we're asking, they can have a look. So if you have questions, reach out. This is important. We wanna get it out the door as soon as possible.
So we are 2 minutes and 30 seconds into this. I see Janice has a response and Vincent also has his hand up. Are you okay with extending it, Roberto? Or are you sort of limit, but we have a few more hands?
Sure.
Okay, great. So, yeah, I think that Vincent's hand went up first and then Barry, so I'll pass it to you first, Vincent, with your mic in front of you, please. Right there.
Oh. All right, Yeah, I just want to, I reviewed the letter I saw today and, I understand that there's a need for us to show support for what we're doing here and I support it. And I don't know if they're just a consensus vote is all we have to do, but I support us having our co-leads sign this letter and then maybe we can do some more follow-up, later too.
Thanks, Vincent. Barry, please, feel free to go ahead. You're muted, Barry.
Thank you. Quick question, which we can all delve into a little bit later if you don't know. In the legislation of AB 617, is it in the language of the bill that funding for a community steering committee is mandated as well as mandate for a community steering committee?
I'm sorry, Barry, that question was a little bit hard. Are you saying that, is it mandated for community steering committees to exist as well as have funding? Or could you please rephrase your question?
No, I'll rephrase. In the actual legislation of the bill AB 617, is it in the bill, is it in print that funding for the mandated community steering committee be attached to the committee, funding a community steering committee?
Yeah, we don't know.
Okay, thank you for the question, Barry. We don't know the answer off the top of our head, so I think that the district will have to look into that and get back to you.
Okay, that would be the first thing that should be done. So if it's in there, the legislation would have to change the law to make that happen to unfund us. And if any reason given other than cap and trade has ended because all super polluters have stopped super polluting, meaning no more incentive purchasing, that would be the only way that money would stop coming into AB 617. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Barry. Okay, that concluded district updates, minus Janice is gonna say something first.
We have one last update, that David just reminded me, CARB, Adriana. Did you want to make an update on the liaison update?
Hi, I'm Adriana Smith, the current community liaison for the South Sacramento Florida community. So I'm preparing to transition away from my community liaison role. And just wanted to thank everybody for being so open, for your kindness and for your partnership. I really enjoyed being a part of this community and working with you all. And I'd like to go ahead and transition over to Jeremy Herbert. He's going to be the new community liaison for the community. And he's been with the Office of Community Protection since the inception of the program. And so you'll definitely be in good hands with him. So I'll let him introduce himself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jared Herbert. As my colleague said, I've been in OCAP since 2017. I think some of you may remember me. I attended a lot of your camp meetings back in the early days of your camp. I've been all over the state in a bunch of different steering committees. So I'm really excited to work with all of you.
Thank you for that update. We will miss you, Adriana, before we work with you. Okay, so with those updates in mind, we can go ahead and move on to administrative items. So I'm going to pass it to Roberto to cover the approval of the April meeting calendar.
Fantastic, thank you. All right, I would like to ask for a motion to pass April's meeting summary.
Motion.
Do we have a second?
I second.
Okay, thank you both. All right, let's go ahead with the voting, right?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Okay, Larry Boyd,
Aye.
we're gonna hear you, Larry.
Aye. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Right on, Tito. Aye. No, I'll put it in the chat.
Thank you, we got you, Larry, appreciate you. Then we have, so Barry, Bishop Chris Baker,
Yes.
Mala Green. Oh, yeah, James Allison.
Aye.
Lori Walker,
Yes.
Richard Lincoln,
Yes.
Roberto Rizzo, yes. Stephanie Williams, Tito Hong,
Yes, sir.
Tito Vincent Valdez,
Yes. Oh, wait, I wasn't here. Abstain.
okay, Richard Falcon.
Yes.
Great. Perfect, so. 7, motion passes. Excellent, now we move to the next, right?
Yes. So, action items. So. we went through Action items. Okay, thank you all for that. So we can now move on to our action items. So the first action item is voting on portable air monitoring lab location. So before I pass it to Janice for an overview of this, I would just like to remind everyone that this has been an ongoing item that we have been providing updates on for numerous months. If you missed those updates, please feel free to review those meeting summaries. Information was also sent out to the steering committee, and Roberto texted you all asking if you had questions on that. So just reminding everyone of our tight time frame and how this has been ongoing. I'll now pass it to Janice.
All right, thank you, Britta. So, as Britta mentioned, the steering committee gave the district direction in terms of looking at 5 areas for the new placement of the portable air monitoring location. And last month, I had reported that there was a location north of the Sacramento Executive Airport by the city courtyard that we were able to work with the city of Sacramento on in terms of placing the portable air monitoring laboratory there. And so tonight we are now asking for the steering committee to vote to recommend placing this portable air monitoring laboratory on 34th Avenue, north of the Sacramento Airport. And that's it.
The next one I'll get it, I promise.
Okay.
All right, so now we'd like to ask for a motion to go to the portable air monitoring lab location.
I make a motion to accept the locations for the portable air monitoring locations.
We have seconds. Fantastic, thank you, Vincent. You are gonna go ahead with the voting now. Okay, we're gonna.
Alternative?
Tito, do you have a?
All right, Barry, I'm putting the microphone in front of the computer so that we can hear you. Please go ahead and state your comment or question.
Thank you. Hopefully the mic's working better now. Can you hear me?
It's quiet, but we're doing our best.
Fantastic. Well, one, you would want to ask for comment on this before we ask for a vote. But 2, my question is the place that we've discussed in the past, looking at the Zoom, for the most current email that we received, how secure is this area? Because that's an open lot, correct? Or is that a building from that close-up of the map that the lab is going to go next to?
Yeah, Janice, go ahead and respond to that.
Yeah, that was one of the really good things about this particular location because it is fenced in, because it is the city of Sacramento's property.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Because from the map picture that you guys sent, I thought it was an open lot. Like, yeah, okay, no, that's not a good spot. But the second part to that is the estimate for electricity is $11,000. So that's building an outlet and then the monthly electrical use, is that where that 11,000 is coming from?
So it is we anticipate it to be an estimated, up to 11,000 to pull the power from the nearby buildings, which is what the city owns, to the portable laboratory.
So $11,000 is the electric bill for the year.
No, it is to actually build, take the infrastructure, electricity infrastructure from the city courtyards or from that building to our portable laboratory.
So it's essentially set up. Correct? Yes, Janice is nodding.
You guys kind of spoke over each other. Janice, you were saying it's not the monthly or the annual bill, it's the cost to establish an outlet, more or less.
Yes.
Just that last question. What was the
Yes.
cost? What was the cost of the electrical setup to provide electricity at at the lab's last location?
Off the top of my head, I don't have the number, but I want to say it was at least twice as much.
You said twice as much?
Correct.
Okay, so you guys have a budget that you can present to us so we can take a look at it? That wasn't included in the email.
That's our budget.
So the budget to pull the power from there would be no more, we estimated to be $11,000.
That's not a budget. I'm asking for a budget so we can all look at and see where the cost is going.
We can get back to you all on that, but
That's fine. Until we see the budget, I'd say we suspend the vote until we all have a chance to look at the budget. So we're 100%, we know where the monies are going. You guys are asking for a signed contract with us without us looking at a contract.
I'm gonna pass it to Roberto to respond to this, and I just want to remind everyone of how we have been talking about this for months, and this discussion has been ongoing.
That is correct. And yet no budget for months either. Thank you for your input.
Thank you, Barry. Last month, actually 2 months ago, Morgan asked this question specifically. She said that she's worked on projects that were up to $25,000 because of the trenching and, you know, all of the equipment and needs for a location like this. We asked Janice at that meeting to come back to a potential amount of how much it was spent. And she told us that it was gonna be $11,000. We dropped the matter because it wasn't as much as we've spent before. Unfortunately, I don't think we can stop the vote today. We're gonna move to the vote and we can get the budget following unless, I mean, we can vote on it. And if the committee feels that we need to not pass it and come back next month, we can do that too, right? So like we are gonna open it up there and let the committee decide.
And before we do that vote, this is also the time for public comment. So if any members of the public have any comments on the proposed action to accept the location for the portable monitoring, please either raise your virtual hand or raise your hand in person. That way I can call on you and bring you a microphone. Are there any public comments? All right, I am not seeing any. Is there any further steering committee member discussion? Barry, is that a residual hand?
Sorry about that. Yes.
Thank you. All right, I will pass it back to Roberto to lead the vote.
Thank you, Brita. Now I am calling for a motion to, oh, we already have a motion. Okay, Brita, now let's vote. Right, Barry Boyd,
No.
Bishop Chris Baker,
Yes.
James Allison,
Yes.
Lori Walker,
Yes.
Richard Lincoln,
Yes.
Roberto Rizzo, yes. Stephanie Williams.
Yes.
Tito Hong,
No.
Vincent Valdez.
Yes.
Seven yeses. Motion passes.
Okay, 7 yeses, motion passes. Excellent, and great question, Barry, we'll still get back to you, we'll work with the district to get numbers going, we're gonna see them, but we're gonna, we'll help out, leads.
All right, so for the second action item today, there is a vote on steering committee member application. So I will pass it to Janice to share information on the steering committee member application today. And there's also a question from the steering committee about whether the proposed steering committee member, the person who has applied, if they're here today. So just looking for information on that as well. I see the district is pulling together their material, so we'll give them a moment to respond.
All right, we did receive a new steering committee application. You all have received in your packet, the application from the community member. And, the person's name is Emisal Swan. And so we are asking for the steering committee to consider their application and to, recommend to approve the new steering committee, onto the steering committee.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and ask for a motion to vote on the new applicants today. Do I get a motion from the committee?
Motion to approve.
Okay, can I get a second? Beautiful, thank you. Now we're gonna have a discussion, on these applicants. Please raise your hand if you have any questions.
Okay, just noting that we're gonna have steering committee discussion first, and then there will be public comment on the motion. Barry, I see a new hand raised, so I will come over and hold the mic in front of the computer. You can go ahead when you're ready.
Thank you. This is going back to, I think, Jamila's second term, starting second term in regards to which the steering committee all voted yes to, that there would be no, what is the word I'm looking for? Introduction of a new member and vote in the same meeting, which would give all of the steering committees at least 30 days to look into the applicant. Again, this isn't new. This is old business in regards to the last applicant that came on not voting in the same meeting that the applicant was agendized and introduced. We got to stick with what we've committed to, folks.
Okay, thank you for that comment, Barry. I'm gonna let Janice provide clarification on the process.
Thank you for the comment, Barry. This is following the normal process that we brought all steering committee members onto the steering committee. And so we have sent this information out to the steering committee as part of your packet. And so it has followed the normal process for everyone.
All right, are there any remaining public comments on the motion to approve the new member application? Any further steering committee discussion? All right, I will pass it to Roberto to lead the vote.
Thank you. All right, let's get started. Barry Boyd,
No.
Bishop Chris Baker,
Yes.
James Allison,
Yes.
Lori Walker,
Yes.
Richard Lincoln,
Yes.
Roberto Rizzo, yes. Stephanie Williams,
Yes.
Theo Hong,
yes,
Vincent Valdez,
Yes.
all right.
8 yeses.
8 yeses or no, motion passes. Welcome to the committee, Emma Swan. I don't know if you're watching. I don't think you are.
Right, the steering committee member.
Great, thank you all for that. So we can go ahead and move on to our next item on our agenda today. which is new business and upcoming meeting topics. So I will pass it to the district to review some upcoming office hours and other meetings that you all may want to consider attending, especially if you have questions or would like more robust discussion that does not fit within the confines of these meetings.
All right, we wanted just to announce and remind everyone that we do have virtual office hours this upcoming Thursday from 6 to 7:30. But if there's no attendance by anyone, we will be closing that session by 6:15 if people don't show up. We also have a few upcoming ones on June 17th, as well as June 26th. And again, like Britta said, this is an opportunity for, if you guys have questions for our staff, on what you talked about today or during your SERP subcommittee meeting, for you to ask those during that time as well.
And we have a lot of new members of the public attending today, so I just wanted to ask, are these office hours also open to members of the public?
Yes, these office hours are also open to members of the public. They are posted on our website for the Zoom link if you'd like to attend.
Great, thank you. I'll let you take it back over.
All right, for our upcoming steering committee meeting we actually have 2 meetings this month because we had to move our main meeting to today. Our next meeting will be on June 23rd from 6 to 8. And last meeting, we had talked about having that at our Sacramento Air District's office, a little field trip for you all to see, kind of where we do our business. Also give you a little bit tour of the lab that we have there. And then in July, we don't currently have a location yet. I know Richard has a place is holding for us, but in the June meeting, we can make that decision as well. And then in August through December, we have booked La Familia, which is this place here, from 6 to 8.
Thank you, Janice. So with those timelines mentioned for the upcoming meetings, we can look forward to determining that meeting location in the next meeting. We hope to see a lot of you at that next meeting at the Air District. And so we can go ahead and move on now to public comment. Are there any public comments? Please raise your hand, in person or online. We'll do in person first and then online if there are any. Okay, yes, I see one in person. We will come over and bring you in mic.
Hi everyone, my name is Laurel Smith, and I'm with Valley Vision. And I have a few announcements today. So Valley Vision received a Cycle 5 Community Air Grant to partner with the South Sacramento Florida EV 617 Steering Committee on outreach, engagement, and educational activities to help increase the visibility, participation, and impact of the work that the steering committee is doing. So this project will be taking place over a 2-year period, and we will actually be doing a full presentation at the next EV 617 meeting, and we will be providing a lot more detail about this project. We hope to see many of you there. And then my next announcement is that we're also kicking off a project. Oh, sorry. Yeah. We're also kicking off a project with the California Emerging Technology Fund in this 8617 zone of South Sacramento. And this project will be getting people connected to affordable internet and teach digital literacy skills. And we are looking for 2 paid digital navigators. That they will receive a $5,000 stipend for helping getting people signed up for the program. And the navigators must be residents of this South Sacramento, Florida 8617 boundary. We are having an event on Wednesday, June 25th from 5 to 7 p.m. We'll be sharing more about this program, raffling off laptops and seeking ambassadors. So if you're interested, you can contact
Valley Vision. My colleague's name is Navreet Handel, and I have her email, navreet.handel@valleyvision.org, and you can come speak to me after if you want more information. Thank you so much. Any other public comments in person? All right, Adrian, I see your hand raised. One moment as I bring the microphone over to the laptop so that we can hear you. Okay, go ahead when you're ready, Adrian.
Sure, thanks. So yeah, this is Adrian Wren with Valley Vision. I'm tag teaming with Laurel because I think we realized that 3 announcements was too much time, so we needed an extra human. So we're also working on a project with UC Davis. Some of you guys might be familiar with the Reconnecting Communities program, and it was kind of a Biden era program focused on basically trying to help communities address like racist land use and transportation policy, like building highways through communities. And so we're working to have a Northern California symposium about kind of how communities can help to kind of respond to these issues. It's going to be at the UC Davis Conference Center on Friday, June 27th, 9:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. We're going to be providing compensation for folks to attend, and again, inviting kind of community-based groups from across Northern California who are interested or involved in kind of the transportation equity space. And so happy to share more information about that, but we'll feed you as well. I know that always gets me to come out to things. But ping me for more information and I'll follow up with an email as well. So this is again a Reconnecting Communities Symposium on June 27th at UC Davis. Thanks.
Thank you, Adrian. Lots of people taking notes as you said that. So hope to see lots of people at that event. Okay, with those, I will do one last call. Are there any remaining public comments? Yes, Vincent, I see you. Please go ahead and use that mic.
Okay, I know we just had an election for a new member, but can we get an update? Can we get an update on how many residents we have and how many, I don't have the roll in front of me, or how many organizations or businesses we have on our roll as opposed to how many residents? And where are we at? Can we still take on new members?
Go ahead, Janice.
I'm gonna answer backwards because I know the answer is backwards. Yes, we can still take on more members. And I think I have to get back to you in terms of the number of residents and organizations.
Okay, thank you.
Great, okay. With that, I think we can go ahead and close public comment. We're doing so good with the time, y'all. You'll really listen when I said we are on a tight schedule, so thank you so much for honoring that. As a quick refresher before we dive into the next activity, so the first hour of our meeting is what's hybrid, and then the second hour from 7 to 8 is our in-person breakout groups. So we will be heading into those after we provide an overview and a reminder about what those are, how they work, and how you can participate in them. So I will pass it back to Janice to go over the CERT team activities and provide you all that information.
Thank you. So as Brenda mentioned, we're going to be breaking out into groups like we did last month. And so we have our residential on here on the right side. We have our commercial table over there where Carve is sitting. And then for our urban planning and mobile group, we're going to be back in the classroom right outside. And so this is just a really quick reminder for our steering committee as well as the public of our schedule, our strategy development schedule. So we are in May, but we're really in June 2nd. Today we're going to be hearing about we're going to have an incentive presentation on using incentives as a tool so that you guys can talk about them in each of your breakout groups. And then in June, we're going to be thinking about what other tools that you guys might need for that particular meeting. But what I really wanted to emphasize here is that we are going to be wrapping up in June the strategy development. So the time that you guys have in your groups and in your subcommittees, the clock is ticking for that. So hopefully you guys are able to use that effectively. And then when you guys, when we get into quarter three, where each of the teams are going to be reporting out on the different strategies that you have developed. And then we're gonna take those strategies and the district is going to do a feasibility assessment. So we have to understand what you wanted so that we can figure out, you know, what are the resources that it's gonna take to implement this program along with our partner agencies. And then after that, in quarter four, we're gonna talk about what are the priorities of the steering committee and finalizing some of the strategies and goals. And so at the end of December is when we are hoping to have a CSC approve the draft SERP strategies to be released to the public for public comment. And then with that, I am going to go to Paul Philly, introduce Paul Philly, who is our program manager for the Transportation and Climate Change Division, and he's going to share information on incentives.
All right, thank you so much. Wow, you really do have to hold this very close. Like a rock star.
Yeah.
So- The what?
Louder.
Louder?
You wanna-
Okay. Is that better?
That's better.
Okay, I will shout. So, I want to make sure we have lots of time, to get into the actual work groups. And so what we're working on today is there's lots of different concerns that this community has identified. The top four: urban planning, residential, transportation, commercial. And there's a lot of different, there's a lot of different, policies that you could use to address those. So a lot of them are mandatory. And when you are working with Mark's group and Amy's group and Angela's group, we learn. Check. So much better. Okay. Yeah, everything in my house is wired. I can't stand wireless. So we have a lot of rules, we have a lot of regulations, and we have whole parts of our agency that are set up to do that. But there's also another part, transportation and climate change, that mostly revolves around incentives and outreach and education. Because that can also drive a lot of things. The Check Before You Burn program, Spare the Air, Clean Cars for All, there's lots of them. And it's a tool that's in our toolbox that can drive a lot of change very quickly. And sometimes it can be more effective than a rule or a regulation. So when we talk about incentives, what you'll have to do is identify three parts of what an incentive is. One is eligibility, who should we give the incentive to? The second is the desired action. What change do we want to see? And finally, compensation. And when we're thinking about that, we're trying to give somebody a reason to make a change that's going to benefit the reason we're all here, which is South Sac Clean Air. So for this one, like take the Clean Cars for All program. We want to see cleaner cars and less polluting cars on the road. So that's the desired change. Eligibility, it has to be somebody with an older vehicle and also somebody who is income qualified. We want to be helping out people who couldn't otherwise make this transition. And then finally, we offer $7,500 to $9,500, depending on the kind of vehicles that you're turning in and how much income that you're making to help you make that transition. And so that's a full incentive program that the district currently runs. Now, what we're hoping that you'll do is we want you to think about the concern that you want, and then think about the change you want to happen with that concern. So for example, if you're in the residential group and you want to see cleaner air inside of homes, there's lots of different actions that can create cleaner air in homes. You can have monetary incentives where we can fund trees for vegetative barriers to filter out pollution. We can have vouchers so that you can get a cleaner stove or other device inside your home. We could do discounts for electric fireplace inserts, so there's less wood burning in the neighborhood, but there's also non-monetary incentives. So UC Davis around their campus has an incentive program where you can get a free air filter to clean the inside of your home to offset some of the construction work that they're doing. No money changes hands, but it's still considered an incentive. We want you to have clean air in your home. Here's something that can make that happen. So definitely be thinking about what kind of incentive you want and the action that you want to get the outcome that you want. And try to be as targeted as you can. Now, there are lots of existing incentives. This is sort of a non-exhaustive list we have at the Air District, but we have incentive programs for agricultural vehicles. We have incentive programs to add new trees and have urban greening. There's line equipment, there's zero emission vehicles, there's fireplace change outs. Lots and lots of different incentive programs. Not all of them are funded right now. But the nice thing about an existing program is that it's very easy for us to get going quicker. One of the strategies that we're working on in the mobile source group is trying to shorten the amount of time it takes for somebody to get a Clean Cars for All voucher. And so it used to be about 6 months, we got it down to about 3 months. We can mess with the eligibility pieces to try to make that go even faster. There may not be an incentive on that list that speaks to you or tries to accomplish the thing that you're trying to do. And there are community identified projects that we can do. So if you come up with a project that doesn't fit into an existing bucket, part of this process is to create a new incentive program to make that happen. The community greening used to not be an eligible expense, but another CERB committee worked on it, created it, and now it's available statewide. That said, it's not something that we can do tomorrow. You have to come up with eligibility, you have to find funding, you have to decide what you're going to give people to take the action and so on and so forth. So I'm not saying that we can't do it. It's just something that's going to take a little, it's more of a medium-term project. So something to consider as you're thinking about the incentives that could work in your community. So if there's something available that's already works and just needs a little bit of topping off, we can implement that faster. But don't let that dissuade you from making a choice that works for your community. So key takeaways is incentives are a tool that you can use in any different sector to drive a lot of different behaviors. Pick the tool that is best for what you're trying to do. It may be incentives, it may not be incentives. And if you can use existing programs, we can implement faster, but don't let it dissuade you from doing something that you feel would be best. And that's it.
Does the steering committee have any questions that would benefit the entire group? We will also be able to discuss this in breakout groups. But if there's something that's on your mind that may benefit another small breakout group, we can allow space for that. Okay, I'm not seeing any. Is that one, that's not related, right? Okay, I'll get to that in a moment. So, Janice, do you have more you want to say about that?
Yes, just something to add to Paul's. CARB also has a guidance for the CAP incentives. And so they will be providing a hard copy of the guidance next month. And they also show a wide variety of different options that you guys might have as well.
Great, thank you, Janice. So, with that presentation in mind, we all have and with the timeline in mind that was reviewed, we all have our work cut out for us. So, if you're new here and you're just joining for the first time, please feel free to join any of the breakout groups. You may also hop around if you'd like, but you might not be able to get as much done that way. Steering committee members, and other folks who have been involved, please feel free to head back to your standard breakout group. They will be in the same locations as before. So as a reminder, residential will be right over here. Land use and planning will be in the auxiliary room. And then commercial will be right here at this small table. Before we head to those breakout groups, so it's 7:05. We'll give you 5 minutes to get to those breakout groups, but before you get up and start moving, I'm gonna pass it to Vincent, who would like to acknowledge some of the folks here today.
Okay, that's me again. I know there's some people that are here for the first time, and I asked some friends that I met, last weekend planting trees at the job boards if they were interested in what we're talking about. And they already knew about air monitoring in South Sacramento. They wanted to get an air monitor in their community. And so I just want to take a time to introduce them. And I'll get them over there. That's, Davis, one of the managers there. And I promoted her to director that weekend, but
Hi, everyone. My name is Mava Bain, and I'm with the Sacramento Job Corps, and I'm the business engagement manager there. So I attended, different organizations with Job Corps. And I brought some students here with me tonight, so I'll let them introduce themselves.
My name is Angela Israel, and I do the medical assistant training in Job Corps. Hi, I'm Deja. I also do the medical assistant in Job Corps also. Hi, my name is Alicia, and I also do medical assistant and nursing assistant. My name is Christian, and I do HVAC. And I just finished.
there's a couple more over here.
My name is Jacob and I do, heavy equipment operator.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ken and I do construction.
My name is Connor and I do HVAC. My name is Jordan and I do classrooms.
Okay, and so these two people here have been here before, they may need help getting directed to certain, rooms to go to, but I just wanna tell you that they planted trees. And what I heard that day is they want more trees, they want community gardening, and they want composting. And so that's what the community talks about when we talk about greening projects. Thank you. And welcome here, I'm so happy you guys came.
So I don't know if you heard, but the Trump administration is going to down on June 30th, and we're sending 20 students this week. So if you can save the offer, I'd love to see those trees in the next 10 years, 20 years. We turned 61 years old this year. So it's a program that's been around a long time. So please pray for us. Absolutely. All right. Yeah, Janice has one more thing to say, and then we will close the virtual and head into our breakout groups.
Just to answer your question, Vincent, because Mark did the math, from the website, we have 8 residents and 5 business nonprofit, not including the new applicant.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so thank you, everyone. It's 7:09. We'll give you 5 minutes to get to your new groups and make some food if you didn't already get some. So we'll be getting started at 7:14. And then we will come back to adjourn the meeting at 8. For those who were here online, thank you so much. We're gonna close it out and we look forward to seeing you in person in the future. Yeah.